Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Brewing Live All New Season, episode number 128 or 128 for mental preparedness in the new landscape of living amidst challenges of our present time. Brewing Live is a community service of Decaf Coffee Republic, our coaching hub and home of certified life coaches here in the Philippines. In partnership with Life Coach Philippines, our heart as game changers is to brew mental fitness in your space and help nurture holistic mental health for you and the people that matters to you. So shout out to my fellow game changers serving in this corner of the digital space and advancing life coaching ethically and authentically. So you see them also coming up every 12 noon via this page, Decap Coffee Republic. I would also like to give a shout out to Master Coach A, who is the ideator and who is the one who started all this, and for the platform that she's giving us in order for us to actually talk about these things. And also our our our, uh, our lady who is at the back end of all of this and helping us with the presentation and all, Master E. So giving is a lifestyle that never goes out of style. So I encourage you to expand your heart today by supporting the works that we do by blessing Decaf Coffee Republic with your food and beverage order. We have delicious vegan meals and fresh guyabano for easy switch to healthy eating, and we also have sausage platter, waffles, cakes for your favorite and classic comfort food. Please check our FB page for the menu of sumptuous meal and refreshing drinks, or connect with Coach Rezzhel through 0917-586-1661 to bring the Cup Coffee Republic experience to your place. We are open from 12 noon to 12 midnight for your order on pickup and delivery. For other ways to support our community works, you may now give us some stars or love gift through fund transfer. Just check the caption of this video for bank info and or GCash account. If you just joined us in, welcome, welcome, and thank you for being here. You may circulate the link of this video to invite your friends to watch with you. You may also tag them in the comment below and give them some shout out, encouragement, motivation, and best of all, just acknowledge and express gratitude. So for me, I would like to acknowledge and to give a shout out to my friend, Doctora um, Heidelin Dominguez, who is an endocrinologist. And the reason why I gave a shout out is because yung kanyang pagiging endocrinologist niya is related to our topic today. So yan. And aside from Dr. Bonita, palayaw niya, Bonita Dominguez, I would like to give a shout out for my fellow mental collectors inside B Learning Society by Master Coach A. Special mention to fellow bronze badge holders. Hello there. If you are not yet a smart holder of B Learning e-card and you're still missing all the perks that we enjoy, today is the best time to take action. Connect now with Coach Rezzhel through 0917-586-1661 to join the B Learning Society, the tent maker of B Learning Homes for mental fitness. Enjoy 5% food and beverage discount from Decaf Coffee Republic, and get full access to Mental Model Masterclass by Master Coach A happening every fourth Saturday of the month, plus benefit from the 90-minute free coaching session with our senior coaches from Life Coach Philippines. Save the date on November 27 at 7 p.m. for our next Mental Model Masterclass, as Master Coach A will teach about, hulaan nyo, Jeff Bezos' Mental Model Mastery. For more information and registration assistance, connect with Coach Rezzhel through 0917-586-1661. Moving on, for today's episode, I will be sharing Wired and Tired. Please do tag your friends, forward this video link, and invite others to join our conversation on mental preparedness because we all need this now. So once again, I am life coach Cherry Minas. I am a actively co-create life coach, certified life coach, and I'm also a tribe builder. If you want to check out what I do, then check the Delta FX community on search it on your Facebook search search it on your Facebook. So there, um, yeah, you would see me around life coach page and also life coach page also. So if you are watching this on a replay, comment hashtag replay and do send us message if you wish to connect with any points that resonates with you. You may find the YouTube link where you can watch the replay of all the episodes of Brewing Live in the caption of this video. So please do follow and subscribe to the channel so you'll be notified when new learning videos become available. So as you are here, welcome, welcome, welcome. And today we're going to be talking about uh, adrenal dysfunction, about chronic stress, and the biology of chronic stress. Not just chronic stress, but stress as a whole. Because as a human, especially if you're an adult, then you will be experiencing stress in your life. Hindi, wag naman nating sabihin kakambal, pero it's part of our life. So stress, there are different kinds of stress. If you want to know more about that, then attend our Stress 101 webinar seminar, and you'll know more about what stress is. So stress could be positive and negative. It can be real or perceived, meaning imagine, threat. So those are stresses. And you can say that there's an acute stress where our body is actually equipped to handle. Our body release endocrine hormones, and our fight or flight is there to actually help us deal with those acute stresses. However, if you are stressed physically and mentally over and over, then those hormones that your body is producing is not able to cope up with the stresses that you are actually experiencing. So again, it can be real, it can be a real stress, or it can be a perceived stress. So abangan nyo bakit perceived. So ano nga ba yung mga perceived stress natin? And that can be a problem, and that is where you can actually experience chronic stress. It happens over time. Yun yung mga, you just shrug off the stress, you don't deal with the stress, you suppress your emotions, and then later on, it will come back to you. So there. So today, if you have any idea what adrenal dysfunction is, what adrenal fatigue is, then you can share it in the chat box below because it's what we're going to talk about today. So for others, actually, when I went to research this topic, I heard of the adrenal glands, of its of things like cortisol, but I did not really jump into or dive into searching how is it affecting us, our performance daily. And it's when Master Coach A said that you can actually look at this one. That's where I actually got into, into research mode and like, oh, that is what is happening today. And this is the only time that I've heard of the term adrenal fatigue. So sa mga taong nakakaalam na adrenal fatigue, have you experienced that? Then type it in the chat box below. So ayan, hello Master Coach Asmin, hello Coach Rezzhel, hello Coach Marife, hello Coach Glacy, Coach C, and all the others who are watching and learning with us today. So, yan, balikan natin yung sinasabi natin kanina. So, yeah, And actually, adrenal fatigue is not a medical term, but doctors nowadays, kasi dati, alam mo yung ginagawa pa lang yung book ng medicine na ito yung ituturo, hindi naman siya ganun ka-prominent yung uh, symptoms ng adrenal fatigue. So it's not actually considered a medical term. However, some doctors would actually accept it as a term para lang mapangalanan mo yung mga symptoms na nararamdaman ng isang pasyente or ng isang tao. So, stay until the end and abangan mo kung meron ka ng mga to. So, if you have heard of the adrenal fatigue, then share with me your thoughts below. So we commonly actually associate the term with an adrenal fatigue with the feelings of extreme fatigue, hormonal dysregulation, and other physical symptoms that can occur from chronic stress. So more accurately, we can look at the HPA axis or the hypothalamic pituitary adrenal axis for the cause of this discomfort. So tingnan mo yon, tatlo yon. So yung mga command center, yung hypothalamic and pituitary we can find in the brain, and adrenal dito sa baba, dito sa taas ng kidney. So if you have chronic stress, your adrenals get beat up and your energy plummets, kaya you feel fatigued, and it becomes difficult to manage your day-to-day life. You could feel tired and wired all at the same time, and all these are clues that you could have an imbalance of your HPA axis. So, pagbago ka dito, pag hindi ka nagda-dive into, alam mo yung biology, kahit nga inaral mo yung biology, nakakalimutan mo siya. So, it's a mouthful, di ba? Ano ba yung hypothalamic pituitary adrenal? Pero we'll just stay and we'll know more about it. Because, again, we have acknowledged that there is mind and body relationship or mind and body connection. Na minsan, kaya natin inisip kanina na real and imagined stress because sometimes what stresses us are imagined or perceived. Akala ko ganon. Akala mo mangyayari pero hindi naman. Nag-iisip ka na alam mo yun, horror yung mangyayari. Nag-iisip ka na ng horror pero hindi pa naman. Hindi naman talaga siya mangyayari. And it stresses your body. So from your thinking, it can actually make you sick or it can do imbalance on what is in the system of your body na cause ng yon pag na magkakasakit ka or hindi ka na at your optimum performance. So, what are adrenals? Na pinanggalingan nun and why are they so important? So, the adrenals are two small glands sitting on top of your kidney. So, di ba dalawa yung kidney natin? Ibig sabihin, dalawa yung adrenals mo. And usually, they have two main parts na nagpo-produce ng mga hormones na kailangan ng body natin. Ito yung medulla and yung adrenal cortex. So, yan. So, the adrenals, again, are two small glands above your kidneys and are part of the neuroendocrine system. These small walnut-sized glands are powerful workhorses for you. So, na-imagine mo siya, walnut-sized, so nakakita ka na ng walnut, ganun siya kaliit. Pero, sobrang powerful siya. Sabi nga, powerful workhorses for you. They are life-saving organs because they control your body's hormones and help you survive in stressful situations. So even our ancestors na nai-stress dahil may lion or may mga hyenas na kailangan nilang takasan o kailangan nilang labanan, they have that. So there. So yon, they are responsible. So yung adrenal glands mo, they are responsible for the flight or fight response and secrete many or most of important hormones kagaya ng cortisol, ang ating stress hormone, adrenaline, di ba yung adrenaline yung so iko-command ni brain, magpo-produce ng adrenaline na siya yung dahilan kung bakit yung mabigat na ref na sa usual hindi ka stress, hindi mo naman siya nabubuhat, pero dahil alam mo yung may sunog, nabubuhat mo. So, other hormones produced by your adrenal glands are estrogen, testosterone, progesterone, and others, and many more. So, ang pagtutunan natin, because we're talking about stress, is your cortisol, or yung tinatawag nating stress hormones. So, cortisol is naturally pretty high in the morning to pull you out of your sleep, yung REM mo. And throughout the day, nadideplete siya. So, because cortisol is intended to be released when you feel a threat, kasi nga stress hormone siya, of survival, it is very energizing and propels you into action. So, kung nakita niyo yung mga tinatawag natin energy bunny, yun yung mga, ibig sabihin, mataas yung cortisol level nila sa bloodstream nila, sa body nila. So the human body was designed to respond effectively to stress and then have longer periods of rest in between. Ibig sabihin, hindi dapat tayo oras-oras, minuminuto na stress. Pero, di ba, unfortunately, in our modern day, na maraming nangyayari, even now, na mayroon tayong pandemic, na may lockdown, may hindi, di ba nakaka-stress din yung lumabas ka, kagaya kanina lumabas ako tapos wala pala akong face mask. Bumalik ako para kunin ko yung face mask ko, di ba? So, what are the things that stresses you now? So, di ba? And also scrolling your phone. Kaya di ba sinasabi natin na don't scroll your phone, don't go into your phone during the first hour in the morning kasi nga yon maglalabas ng cortisol yung stress hormones mo. So, ang taas-taas ng and you know na matataas naman talaga yung cortisol level mo. Pero dahil nga naghawa ka ng phone mo, nag-scroll ka na ng mga bali-balita, so nagkakaroon ng, pwedeng magkaroon ng overshoot. So yon, stress is like kapag lumalabas ka, hindi ka work from home, what stresses you, yung mga constant stressor everyday, traffic, road rage. So, di ba? When I was in Metro Manila, I would experience that. Tapos yung pagsakay mo ng bus, talagang labanan pa yung pagsakay ng bus. Di ba? So, trying to get appointments on time. So, I have that because I do visit my client. So, kailangan ko mag-set ng appointment, tapos na-late ako. So, yun. Nakaka-stress yun. Yung mga work and school requirements. How about na if you're working from home? If you are working from home, pag gising mo, maglilinis ka. So, lalo kapag wala kang kasama, maglinis ka, magluluto ka. So, ano pa yung mga iisipin mo? And if you have kids around, then yung schedule mo medyo mag-iiba. Hindi mo expect na masusunod yung schedule mo. And that could be stressful for you. Depende. So, yun, mga deadlines. So, for example, for now, last 2 months, naghahabol ka ng benta, let's say. Mga interpersonal conflicts, di ba? Yung may mga ayaw mong kausap sa office, sa bahay, mga ganon. Yung mga emails na hindi mo pa nasasagot, mga text messages, palaging nagding-ding-ding yung phone mo, mga phone calls na kailangan mong sagutin, ganon. And of course, yung mga environmental and physical stressors na kailangan mong i-deal with araw-araw. So, do you have that experience? And how are you living with those, how are you dealing with those stresses in your life? Yung day-to-day na stress in your life. So, if you compare kasi yung modern day life mo ngayon, especially if you're a working mom, let's say, and kapag sa urban, so I know this for a fact na if you're living in the urban cities or highly urbanized compared sa rural, medyo mas mataas talaga yung stress mo sa urban, lalo na kapag mainit. So, yun yung experience ko. How about you? So, kapag sa rural, hindi naman as in lagi nagmamadali, ganun. And usually for me, malapit lang yung mga bilihan ng gulay, ganun. Ang malayo lang sa akin yung bilihan ng meat. So, ganun, yung mga ganung bagay. So, how about you? How do you see stress in your life? So, kaya naman, actually, tumataas sa population natin ngayon, ang dami dumadami yung mga tao, merong tinatawag nating adrenal fatigue. So, kung ang body mo at mind are always under chronic stress, the constant release of stress hormones, most notably, yung tinatawag nating cortisol or yung stress hormones mo, is overspent. Eventually, you use up your cortisol reserve and you stop releasing it. So, yun. Para lang din yung machine na nag-release siya ng nag-release. Siyempre, kailangan niyang tumigil at mag-reload. Something like that, if you would like to imagine it that way. So when there is no cortisol, there is no energy. This is the point when adrenal fatigue becomes adrenal exhaustion or actually nagkakaroon ka ng burnout. So para mag-compensate yung body mo, yung adrenaline tends to kick in, and which is why many people may feel wired. So, mamaya i-discuss natin yung wired. Ano ba yung ibig sabihin kapag sinabi mong wired or tired yung tao or wired and tired? So, yun yung mga stages ng ating adrenal dysfunction. So, again, para mag-compensate yung body mo dahil wala na siyang cortisol, yung adrenaline will kick in. That is why some people may feel wired. Yung, alam mo yung gusto mong tumigil para magpahinga pero hindi, kayong katawan mo gusto niyang may aksyon, ganon. Sobra yung energy mo. Pero tired ka, exhausted, and may have anxiety and insomnia, hindi ka makatulog kahit gusto mo. Yun yung mga pwedeng mangyari sa'yo. So, more about adrenal fatigue. You may be unfamiliar with adrenal fatigue symptoms. So, even though you're currently experiencing them every day, adrenal fatigue is what happens when the adrenal glands are exhausted and unable to produce adequate quantities of hormones na kailangan ng body mo to deal with all the day-to-day stresses, primarily yung cortisol. This affects your sleep and energy levels throughout the day and will affect your performance, pati yung pagkain mo, kahit na gusto mo lose ng weight, bakit ka nag-gain kahit na gusto mo mag-exercise, bakit hindi mo pilit yung sarili mo mag-exercise? Especially if you know na dati kaya mo siya. Pwede mo siyang i-compare. So, yun. So, yung adrenal fatigue or yung wired but tired feeling, ano yung pakiramdam nun? So, one of the most common issues you may experience with adrenal fatigue is that every day, sa araw-araw na lang na ginawa ng Diyos, expression natin, di ba? Sa araw-araw na lang ng ginawa ng Diyos, you'll be so tired and all the time, lagi kang pagod. Pero at night, when you want to sleep, kasi kailangan mo na, alam mong pagod ka. Pero, you just lay there staring at the ceiling, counting ships. Pero kahit sa kakakount mo ng ships, naubos na yung numbers, hindi ka pa rin makatulog. So, yun ang tawag natin dun is yung wired but tired. So, in most cases, you're barely making it through the day, relying on coffees or mga sugar boost, ano pa ba, mga salty. Kailangan mo ng sodium para lang alam mo yun, may boost sa energy mo. Kasi parang, alam mo yung, you will just feel fatigue. Mahilig kang uminom ng soda. Hindi lang enough sa inyo yung isang coffee in the morning. All throughout, umiinom ka ng coffee at mga energy drinks. So, yun yung mga pwede mo mangyari. You rely on those things kasi nga wala kang energy. Pero dahil kailangan mo mag-perform, kailangan mo may magawa, yung mga task mo during that day, you have to take those. So, pero by bedtime, kung sa oras na matutulog ko na, you just lay there and stare at the ceiling once again. So in order to understand why this is happening to you, why this is common and normal, especially nowadays, kahit unfortunately, these are bad responses. So kapag nagre-rely ka into sodium, into sugar, into soda, into caffeine for your energy, then you know that you have to look inside. You know that you may need to reach out for help. So, kailangan mong tumingin ng proper response. So again, yung cortisol natin as produced by your adrenal glands, you may want to remember something that happened in the past, maybe a major stressor. So a new or recent stressor in your life, and what happened? Gising ka ba ng gabi at hindi ka makatulog? Ano may ang taas-taas ng energy mo. Pero yun, ang taas-taas ng energy mo. Tapos, may times na sobrang pagod ka pero hindi ka pa rin makatulog. That means you have a lot of cortisol na na-produce ng iyong adrenal. So, ngayon titingnan natin yung biology. Physiologically, ang natural response ng body natin. If you are a cave person, yung mga ninuno natin, if you're running away from a tiger, you'd want to be up making sure you knew space para maging safe ka and hindi ka mahabol or hindi ka makakain, hindi ka makakagat nung stressor mo na yun, which is the tiger. Pero ngayon, sa time natin, wala namang ganun, di ba? Yun yung natural, di ba? Kasi may nakita talaga siya, may nakita talaga siya, nakakatakot, tuwakbo siya, nagtago siya. So, yun, nag-release yun ng cortisol, kaya siya ganun. Pero nowadays, our brain, di ba, nag-evolve tayo, pero yung brain, may part ng brain natin na hindi nag-evolve. Kahit medyo mas malaki na yung brain natin, our brain cannot distinguish yung physical threat from an emotional or mental threat. Kaya nga natin nabanggit kanina yung real or imagined and perceived threat. So every time you think about the circumstances that are stressing you out, na wala naman talagang real tiger, di ba, sa harapan mo. Di ba? Raise your hands kung ganun ka. Your brain gives you a little dose of your fight or flight hormones, just in case you're in mortal danger. So, yung body mo, nababasa niya yon, pero hindi niya nadidistinguish kung real or imagined or perceived na stressor yon. Kaya ang gagawin niya, magre-release siya ng cortisol. So, paano mo to siya nakikita? Kaya 'di ba important na makilala mo. Hindi mo naman kailangan i-memorize yung HPA, hypothalamic pituitary adrenal axis. Hindi mo naman kailangan i-memorize yon. Pero dahil ngayon na alam mo na yun pala yung nangyari inside your body, what can you do? 'Di ba? So, yung cortisol mo, yung primary stress hormone, increases, ano pa yung mga nagagawa niya? Increases your sugar. So, yun yung mga, di ba, may mga iba na mataas yung sugar ko. May mga ganun, di ba? So, increases your sugar in the bloodstream, enhances your brain's use of glucose, and increases the availability of substances that repair tissues. Which is maganda naman, di ba? Tama naman. Na kapag may sugat ka or may something sa system mo, i-repair niya. At tama naman yun. At isa yun sa function niya. Cortisols also curb functions that would be non-essential or harmful in a fight or flight situation. So, di ba ang ganda ng function niya? Blood levels of cortisols vary throughout the day, but generally, mas mataas siya kapag pagising mo nga sa umaga and pababa na siya towards the end of the day. Kaya nga kapag gabi, dapat matulog ka, dapat magpahinga ka. So, ang tawag natin dun is diurnal rhythm. So, considered naman na, di ba nga ngayon, may mga iba sa atin na nagtatrabaho ng gabi and tulog sa daytime. Kung titingnan mo yung circadian, kung narinig mo yung circadian rhythm, actually yun ay based siya sa pag-rise ng sun and pag-set ng sun. And with all this, yung mga stressor mo, depende sa arrangement ng buhay mo, alam mo yun, ng trabaho mo, your circadian clock is naapektuhan. Nagkakaroon ng, alam mo yun, imbalance and yung usual na nagagawa ng katawan mo, nag-iiba siya. Pero hindi naman ibig sabihin na totally bad siya. So, yun hindi siya totally bad. Mag-a-adjust yung body mo. So, di ba ang galing ng body natin? So, for people who work at night, this is, yung pattern na yun is reverse naman. So, halimbawa, tulog sila ng daytime, ang gising nila gabi, ibig sabihin, mas mataas yung evening ang gising nila. Sa evening, mas mataas yung kanilang, yung cortisol nila. Kasi nga, kailangan mong gisingin yung katawan mo. So, yun. So, in addition with this, in response to stress, extra cortisol is released to help the body to respond appropriately. So, yun yung mga ginagawa ni, ni cortisol. Pag-usapan naman natin ngayon ito. So, how do adrenal fatigue affect the rest of your body? So, ano naman ngayon? And actually, kapag nalaman mo to, makikita mo na everything is connected. Di ba kanina natin nakita na kahit na imagine mo lang pala yung threat or yung stress mo, magkakaroon ng imbalance sa body mo kasi nga nag-release ng cortisol pero hindi mo naman kailangan. 'Di ba? So, yun siya. And ituloy natin, pag-usapan pa natin. And if you have more, if you have more comments about this, then let us know in the chat box below. So, hello, Leonard Mayer. Si Mayer Leonard ang tawag namin dyan. So, if Kuya Mike Raffil is joining, hello. So, yun. When your poor little adrenals na kasing size ng walnuts are constantly stressed, these sets of autoimmune and inflammatory responses throughout your entire body. So, dun mo makikita na stress can make you ill. So, di ba, may mga bagay na hindi ka ma-explain. Bakit ako nagkaroon ng ganun? Di ba, may mga iba na, bakit siya nagkakaroon ng ganun? Yun pala, di ba may kasabihan pa nga tayo or may joke na, huwag ka masyadong mabait, baka mamatay ka ng maaga. Di ba may ganun? Pero actually, for those people, some people, they suppress their anger, they suppress the stress. Kunyari, wala yung stress. Tahimik lang sila and pero bakit sila nagkakaroon ng cancer? So, yun. So, these are the things that we can consider. Hindi ko naman, wala akong sinasabing bad or ano, pero you have to check. You have to look inside. Alam mo yun, kausapin mo yung tao. Anong nangyari? So, di ba? So, again, balikan natin si HPA, the hypothalamus pituitary adrenal feedback loop. HPA axis regulates the secretion of cortisol again. So again, si hypothalamus at saka pituitary, sila yung nagko-command, yung mga command centers of the brain. Tapos si adrenal, mag-release siya. Sasabihin niya, oy, adrenal, make cortisol. Yan. So, paano siya nangyari? So, the HPA axis is a line of communication. Nagko-communicate sila that loops from the brain to the adrenals and then back to the brain again. When the brain picks up stress signals from your body, it responds by sending a message to both of your adrenal at sasabihin niyang, hey, make cortisol. Tapos magagawa ng cortisol. So cortisol shuts down inflammation in the body. Diba? Galing. So shutting down inflammation is not a good thing as inflammation is your body's attempt of self-healing. Cortisol also shuts down the immune system. It raises blood sugar and it prevents the formation of proteins, specifically collagen. So nakikita niyo na ba? Di ba kaya pag stress ka, mas madami lalo kang nagkaka-wrinkles. So, natural naman talaga magkaka-wrinkles over time. Pero, alam mo yung pag ang dami mo ng wrinkles at early kang nagkaroon ng wrinkles, you may have to check your stress. So, cortisol also raises blood pressure and blocks the formation of bone, causing brittle bones which leads to osteoporosis. So, nakikita mo ba kung paano na-affect ng stress, ng hindi natin pag-handle ng stress, or nung pagsasubject natin ng body natin sa chronic stress, how it affects our body. It can actually make us ill. Ill meaning, hindi lang siya yung magkakasakit ka na magkaka-fever ka. Okay lang kapag ganun eh. What if, talaga, ill na nagkakaroon ka na ng cancer, mga autoimmune diseases. or mga malalalang sakit. So, 'di ba, yun yung mga kaya natin ito pinag-uusapan, 'di ba? So, another thing na inaapektuhan ng ating cortisol is yung digestive function. So, digestive function also shuts down in response to fight or flight signaling. This can cause loose appetite, gas, alam mo yun, yung cramping ng tiyan mo, and constipation. So, minsan hindi ma-explain ng tao bakit ganito yung nararamdaman ko, di ba? Kaya, di ba, pag nagpe-present tayo or kaya lalabas ka na sa stage, magpe-present ka or kaya ano mo yung thesis mo, alam mo yun, i-defend mo yung thesis mo, bakit biglang mag-excuse ka, gusto mong jumebs o kaya bakit ka nako-constipate? It's because of that. May stress sa body mo. So yun. Again, see, cortisol is involved. When transit time is in the gut is drastically slowed, this leads to many gut disorders. Kaya din natin yan pinag-uusapan yung gut natin. Kaya di ba meron tayong mga probiotics, mga prebiotics. So ano ba yung mga function ng mga yan? Alam mo yun? So sabi nga nila, Ayan, and I'm back. Napansin ko, sabi ko, bakit wala nang, wala nang ilaw? Anyway, I'm back. Hindi tayo mawawala. So, tatapusin natin to. And matapit na tayong matapos. Again, balikan natin yung 3 stages of adrenal dysfunction kasi pwede itong mangyari sa'yo or baka nangyari na to sa'yo. And share with us anong ginawa mo and paano mo to siya naramdaman. Diba? Ano yung pag na-experience natin, oo nga, no? Diba? Yun. Para din yun, gusto lang natin malaman din talaga kung how does it feel. So again, yung stage 1 ng ating adrenal dysfunction, ibig sabihin papunta ka na doon. Number 1 is wired. Ito yung punong-puno ka ng energy, sobrang hyperactive mo, pero ang feeling mo, yung body mo, worn out. Sobrang pagod na, exhausted na yung body mo, pero hindi mo siya mapigilan, hindi mo siya mapatigil. So you are always in hyperactive mode, even late at night. Sabing matulog na hindi ka pa rin natutulog. You move full speed ahead. Alam mo yung zoom, para kang sino ba yung mabilis? Para kang The Flash, di ba? Lagi yon. And when you find some quiet time, it's hard to relax. Hindi ka makarelax. Alam mo yung matutulog ka na pero baka maglinis ka pa, magmartilyo ka pa dyan. Alam mo yung mga dating hindi naayos. Yung mga plumbing, inayos mo na dyan dahil sobrang marami kang energy sa katawan mo. Ang tawag dun, wired. Tapos yung mga iba, alam mo yung mapapansin din yun yung mga tao sa paligid mo. And alam mo sa sarili mo na, ganun nga, na ang dami mong gustong gawin, pero alam mo sa sarili mo na pagod ka. 'Di ba? Yung second stage natin is tired and wired. Yun yung title, di ba, nung natin ngayon, nung ating episode ngayon. So, pag tired and wired, yung second stage, your natural rhythm are backwards. So, pabaliktad. Instead na kapag gabi, matutulog ka, kapag daytime, marami kang energy, pero hindi. Your adrenal glands are producing cortisol at the end of the day. Come on. Instead of at the beginning of the day, sa morning. Kaya naman kapag gabi, na matutulog na sana, ikaw yung taong alert and awake, enthusiastic in the middle of the night, but dragging in the morning. It takes a long time to fall asleep, and even when you do sleep, you often wake up ready to go at 2 a.m. Naku, sino sa inyo ang naka-experience niyan? Ang pangatlo na stage natin, ito na talaga yung usually dito na tayo nagsisik ng attention, ng medical attention. Usually, ang sinasabi ko. So, is yung tired na tinatawag. It's a challenge to simply igalaw mo yung katawan mo. Alam mo yun? Body, come on, gumalaw ka naman. 'Di ba? Parang nagmamakaawa ka na sa body mo para naman may energy siya, pero hindi. Because nandun ka na sa third stage ng adrenal dysfunction na kung saan pagod na. You are completely worn out and have no energy at all. Just getting through basic routines like brushing your teeth, like pagsasapatos, like pagdadamit, sobrang nakakapagod at ang hirap gawin. You have to sit and rest after climbing a flight of stairs. Or even, yun nga, pag-brush ng teeth mo is nakakapagod sa'yo. This may be accompanied by intense food cravings. So, ayan na. Maghanap ka na ng sugar, salt, yung mga caffeine, mga energy drinks dahil nga gusto mong pataasin yung energy mo. Para lang you can go through the day, di ba? That's all part of your body trying to survive. And again, tayo pa rin yung may gawa sa sarili natin. So, yon. Minor stressors na dati parang okay lang sa'yo, ngayon, sobrang emergency na siya in your mind. Yung mind mo, nagre-red na siya kasi emergency na eh. Pero dati kayang-kaya mo naman yung i-resolve. Kaya, pero ngayon hindi. Kasi nga, nandun ka na sa third stage ng adrenal dysfunction mo, which is tired. You feel at a loss to do anything about whatever is happening. So, yun. Sino sa inyo ang nakaranas ng adrenal dysfunction and have gone through these 3 stages of adrenal dysfunction? So, yun. So, the root cause of adrenal fatigue is chronic unresolved stress. So, sabi nga natin kanina, yung acute stress is meron naman talaga yung body natin, yung system natin to deal with it. Pero pag your body is always subjected to that, you have real and imagined and perceived stress. And over time, si body na magsasay na, no, I can't do this anymore. So, this stress may be emotional, mental, physical, or external, such as yung poor diet. Pag-usapan natin yan. Ano ba yung mga kinakain mo? Mga heavy metal toxicity, baka may nakain ka. So, yung mga from the sea, so mataas yung heavy metal content, ng fish, something like that. Yun yung mga pwedeng maka-affect na magkaroon ka ng adrenal dysfunction, ng adrenal fatigue. Extreme shock or trauma. So, ito yung mga physical. Excessive exercise. So, may mga iba na baka nagalit, so nag-excess exercise or nagmamadaling magpapayat. Yon, malapit na ang summer na in 2 weeks, ganun. So, excessive exercise, ganun. Overwork with no or little rest, overindulgence in stimulants like coffee, yung mga caffeine nga natin, mga energy drinks, soda, tobacco, narcotics, excessive use of cortisone therapy, lack of sleep, and chronic infections. So unfortunately, the body does not recognize the difference between yun nga, real and imagined stress. So what are you going to do? So, for example, dito sa sinasabi natin, you are constantly worrying about losing your job, especially now, di ba? Pandemic, na baka ikaw yung halimbawa, ikaw yung bagong hire, hindi ka nagpo-perform well sa sales. So, you're constantly worrying na ikaw ang matanggal sa job, na ikaw yung ma-lay off. And you're not able to support yourself and your family, lalo na kapag ikaw yung breadwinner, and will cause the same overtaxing of the adrenals and suppression of the immune system as actually losing your job and financial security. So nakikita mo yon na hindi kasi nare-recognize ng body mo, ng brain mo, na this is imagined. Okay sana kung ganun, no? Na kapag alam niya na hindi naman talaga totoo at iniisip mo lang, hindi siya magre-release. Pero hindi nga. Hindi kasi niya maklasify na these are real stress, these are unimagined stress. So kapag iniisip mo ng iniisip, naging chronic stress na siya, then you know that it will affect your health talaga. So, even if we know this, na alam mo na may stress ka, alam mo may gagawin, dapat kang gawin na, alam mo yun, di ba, hindi ko naman nilalahat na lahat tayo alam natin yung gagawin kapag may stress. Pero sometimes we know, but then we are not doing. So, constant practice, yung daily practice is mahalaga. And of course, yung mga taong nakapalibot sa'yo. So, kung yung mga taong nakapalibot sa'yo is nakaka-stress din naman sa'yo and sila din ay trabaho ng trabaho and hindi nila tinitingnan yung health nila, yung holistic health nila, then you know na nasa bad space ka. So, yon. So, again, what you do is to reorient yourself and recalibrate how you respond to stress. So, dati, kung makikita nyo, di ba sabi nila ngayong pandemic, mas mataas na yung mga nasi-stress kasi yeah, it's really a new thing na biglang ganun. Dati nagko-commute ka na nakaka-stress din naman pero nasanay yung body mo, araw-araw mo siyang ginagawa. Pero ngayon bago siya and malaking stress din, hindi lang siya yung simpleng change, malaking adjustment din yung ginawa mo. So that's a stressor. So how are you dealing with those? And a lot of times ngayon may mga moment na mag-isa ka, so kaharap mo na yung sarili mo. Dati kasi marami tayong mga detractors, yung mga nagdi-distract. We distract ourselves with a lot of things. And so far, masasabi natin na nakayanan natin, na itawid natin. Pero now, with all the changes that is happening in our lives, how are we dealing with our stresses? How are we responding? So stress response, in short term, yung body natin is made for that. but in long term, paano mo susuportahan yung body mo? Yun. Kasi you have to work hand in hand with your body because there's mind and body connection. So, ikaw pa rin kasi nagko-command, di ba? So, how do you know it's affecting your biology? So, yung stress ba nito, chronic stress ba nito, is it affecting your biology? And negative na ba yung naging effect sa body mo? So, yun. Is there an HP axis dysfunction? Nagkakaroon ba ng overactivity? Yung wired, nagkakaroon ka ng wired feelings, symptoms, or nagkakaroon ka ng underactivity, yung tired symptoms. So, yun. Syempre, yung chronic mo will affect your diet. Kasi nga dahil yung chronic stress mo, para mapataas mo yung energy mo, kakain ka ng salt. Salty, mag-add ka ng sugar. So, magkakaroon ng sugar imbalance sa body mo. So, maapektuhan ulit yung body mo, magkakasakit ka. And, yun. So, how are you seeing this in your life? So, how do you want to deal with your stresses para hindi mo siya maging chronic stress? So, pag ikaw yung tao na na-stress ka tapos hindi ka makatulog, ano yung mga ginagawa mo ngayon? So, I would like to share some things to do. So, the best thing that you can do, kasi one thing, hindi ko naman sinasabing na bad, is that one thing kapag nagpa-check up ka and pinabalik ka na wala naman. Kasi nga, halimbawa, yung tinetest nila yung cortisol, sabi nga natin, yung cortisol mo is hindi naman siya laging up. And some practitioners would not accept adrenal fatigue kasi nga hindi nga siya medical term. So kapag pinabalik ka, there are things that you can do. And of course, you don't stop to find a practitioner na makakatulong sa'yo. So yun naman, don't give up, don't quit. So yun, you can begin your recovery sa sarili mo. So what can you do kapag sobrang tax na yung adrenals mo? You have to rest and distress. And yung pag-rest and distress, hindi naman siya kailangan boring, hindi siya kailangan, alam mo yun, parang it's the end of of your life, it's the end of your career, but actually you can make it really enjoyable. So what are the things that you can do? Number one is to walk in nature. So kanina nung ginagawa ko to, ay naalala ko mag-walk in nature. So lumabas ako kanina, nag-walk ako in nature. So ang saya, di ba? So you exercise. One thing that would always say is journal your thoughts. Ano ba yung mga iniisip mo? Kasi nga, di ba, meron tayong mga perceived, imagined, and real stresses. So, para ma-classify mo kung ano nga ba yung mga perceived at saka real mo, i-journal mo. Para makita mo kung ano yung nasa utak mo. Kasi minsan, isip tayo ng isip, ikot-ikot lang siya sa brain mo. Pero pag sinulat mo siya, makikita mo na, ay, light lang pala. O, okay ito, pwede kong ma-resolve. So, ganon. And there are actually supplements na pwede mong i-take like ashwagandha, mga ginseng, rhodiola, mga ganon na pwede mong i-take as supplement to level your cortisol. So one more is to practice mindfulness and meditation. You meditate, you breathe. We would always say, breathe. Minsan kasi lagi tayong magmamadali, lagi tayong natin iniisip, ano kayang end neto? Kung huminga ka lang sana. Alam mo yun? Bago ka makarating sa chronic stress. Pag acute stress pa lang, alam mo na may nangyayari. Pero dahil hindi ka humihinga, lalo siyang nagiging stressful. Lalo siyang umaakyat na mabigat. Pero if you actually breathe, then it would be better. If you practice mindfulness, mindful ka sa ginagawa mo. Para saan nga to? So, connected siya dun sa intentional. So, again, titingnan mo kung ano nga yung mga kinakain mo. Kaya, di ba, meron tayong, Coach Candy has a talk about mindful eating. So, these are connected to the stresses that you give to your body. So, pag okay ka pa naman, ano yung mga dapat mong kinakain? At pag nandun ka na you have adrenal fatigue, what can you eat? So you can check that out. So part of your recovery, you can go to bed early, ideally before midnight, mga 11, ganun. So, you can nap and rest when you feel fatigued. Alam mo yun? Listen to your body. So, yun. Eliminate or decrease intense exercise. So, yung mga nagmamadaling pumayat, nagmamadaling palaki ng muscles. So, instead na nakatulong siya sa gusto mo, nagkaroon ka ng dysfunction, adrenal dysfunction. So yun, kailangan mo yan tignan. Ginagawa mo ba yun? So yun yung mga maraming kailangan i-consider for your general health, for your holistic health, di ba? So yun, again, eliminate or greatly reducing, eliminate completely o kaya greatly reducing your caffeine intake and other energy drinks. I have a confession when I was in college, di ba kailangan mag-aral? So, ang dami ko talaga niyang energy drinks with cafe. So, may time na hindi ako makasagot, hindi ko mapindot yung aking calculator dahil pinagsama ko ang energy drinks at cafe. So, yun. So, ngayon totally wala na akong energy drinks. Pero meron pa rin akong caffeine. What I can do now is to actually cut down with my caffeine. So, yun. Take food that are whole food that are high in vitamin C. So, specifically, kapag nagre-recover ka, so dito kapag nagre-recover ka from adrenal dysfunction, ang preferred is ang recommended is hindi ka magte-take ng synthetic na vitamin C kundi kumain ka ng mga whole food that are rich in vitamin C. So, 'di ba marami doon mga fruits and meron din mga gulay na that are rich in vitamin C. So, yun yung mga maiiwan ko sa inyo and I hope you've learned something from our session today and now you're able to deal with your stress and huwag mo nang antayin na magkaroon ka ng adrenal dysfunction. So imagine yung body mo na wired, na hindi ka makatigil, pero alam mong pagod ka, tapos wired and then tired na, alam mo yun, kahit mag-toothbrush lang is hirap na hirap ka. So kailangan mong tignan yun. I think this is beautiful because most people would say na depress ako when actually they are just in the final stage of yung adrenal dysfunction natin na tired. So yon. Pwede siyang related, pwedeng you have both, pero hindi siya laging yon yung kalalabasan. So yon, kailangan maging aware tayo sa ating katawan, maging mindful tayo sa mga nangyayari sa paligid natin sa ating body. So, mindfulness avails much, like prayer. So, yun. So, thank you so much for joining me today in supporting the advancement of mental fitness. The free talk on mental preparedness every Saturday at 4 p.m. is temporarily put on hold, but you can still connect with us with any of your coaching needs 24/7 and we will support you in the best possible way. If you are interested to become a professional service provider either as a life coach or mental health coach, like us, connect with Coach Rezzhel through 0917-586-1661 to know more about the Actively Co-Create Life Coach Certification Program by Master Coach A. We are now accepting application for mental health certification and internship program with limited slots. So make sure that you make the reservation with Coach Rezzhel. So join us back tomorrow, same time, and same digital space for episode number 129 with Coach Sean. Decaf Coffee Republic is located inside Pioneer Center compound or widely known as PC. We are just across Bainian Center in Pioneer Road, corner Brixton and United Streets in Capitolio, Pasig City. Once again, this is Life Coach Cherry Minas, mentally fit to serve in behalf of Life Coach Philippines. This is us in the Philippines. Love, bam, boom. Love, bam, boom. Love, bam, boom. See you tomorrow. Have a blessed day. Bye-bye.